A busy Sunday of Premier League football continues to review what we saw in the Premier League, specifically West Ham against Liverpool. My name is Mark Donaldson alongside Janusz Michallik, my trusted lieutenant. I could throw you anything, Mr. Michallik, and you'd give me something back that isn't just mailing it in, and I appreciate that. So let's start with Liverpool at West Ham, a 2-0 win. Before we even get to the game, tribute is paid before kickoff to Billy Bonds, the West Ham legend, who's got a stand named after him, and also won 2 FA Cups, and Jared Bowen, the club captain, putting a shirt down behind the goal with his name. So it was a poignant day for West Ham, wasn't it?
It was. You'd feel ahead of this game. They've been in decent form, right? Nuno Espirito Santo came into the club, under a crisis, and the beginning there wasn't easy. But last 3 matches, especially at home, they've won 2, and of course they drew away at Bournemouth. So they were in form coming into that game, and you would have thought that maybe this is the time to take advantage of a Liverpool team that has been in a freefall.
When the West Ham players saw the team lineup for Liverpool and it didn't have Mo Salah on it, how do you think they felt?
Yeah, probably didn't think too much about that, right? This is not the Mo Salah from last season. They understood, of course, because they've been there themselves. I mean, they've been in crisis, it seems, on and off for us 2 or 3 seasons so far. So I think when that happens, I would imagine that it wasn't surprise, maybe somewhat expected. This is a player that always plays, and when you have such a difficult time, you expect the opposition to make changes. So it didn't surprise me.
So the setup for Liverpool with Alexander Isak still looking for his first Premier League goal for Liverpool leading the line. Florian Wirtz got the nod. Cody Gakpo was in there as well as Szoboszlai. I was impressed by Florian Wirtz. He's someone that's taken a bit of time to settle in. You could argue maybe quite hasn't yet, but very involved, as you can see with our brand new graphics, Janusz.
Yeah, I have been impressed by Florian Wirtz on many occasions. It just hasn't been consistent, right? Within games for 15, 20, a half. I mean, he's been good. It's just, the expectations are so high. Hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League. Not even sure if he has an assist in the Premier League. Probably not, if I remember. I remember the Eintracht game that he had a couple. So I think the expectation, because he's had so many chances to do that, and physically maybe not there just yet, but in terms of quality of playing between the lines, the ability to combine, this was obviously the best we've seen from him. It's time. It's part of the reason why Liverpool have struggled, because the new players, the expensive players, haven't bet in. But today, maybe a catalyst, right? Amongst many, many things, of course. Isak scoring his first goal for Liverpool. Wirtz playing excellent. I think we always knew that Liverpool has to stop the bleeding in terms of how they fared defensively. They did all of that today, and then some.
If that first half was replayed in my back garden, I think I might close the curtains. It wasn't a great watch, and neither goalkeeper troubled too much in that one. So let's just gloss over everything that happened in the first half, because it wasn't great. In the second half, Liverpool got their goal. Alexander Isak scoring the goal after a pretty decent team move. A lot of players involved, and it was a really good finish. Took it nice and early, went near post. Areola, who'd had some good saves up until then, could do nothing about it. What did you like most about this goal?
Well, first and foremost, 3 wildly criticized players combine in a beautiful way, right? Because even Gakpo. I mean, if we were surprised that Salah didn't start, Gakpo was certainly the next on the list, and maybe this game has helped him. Wirtz with that really acute, I will call it, a little through ball to Gakpo, first time cutback, and then first time finish, excellent finish from from Isak as well. So, that was the combination play. That was the Liverpool maybe at the highest level. If you just isolate this situation alone in all that traffic with so many players in there, the way they finished that was absolutely superb. So that's always good. Managers will talk about that because it's important. You want to highlight the times that your team is playing exactly the way you've imagined. And that's exactly what happened. Did it happen enough in this game? No. But as I've said before, there's always that first time. And nobody here is going to probably talk about this game as an incredible way. Here's Liverpool finally. This is how they can play, because let's be honest here, it was a necessary win, one without flair that we expect of Liverpool Football Club.
Against a side that have conceded now 27 goals in the Premier League this season, only Wolves at the bottom of the table have conceded more, with 28. They're averaging just over a goal a game. You always kind of got the impression that the first goal in this one was going to be crucial. And if West Ham could get it, then they'd have something to hold on to. But for too often this season, it's been too easy to score against them. And Liverpool had other chances as well. But after Liverpool went 1-0 up, what did you see from West Ham that was different from what you maybe saw before they conceded the opener?
Nothing. I mean, there was a moment. There was a moment that it looked like maybe Liverpool relinquished control, but I don't know if that lasted for more than 5 minutes. The problem with West Ham is that they're never consistent enough. You think they should be doing better, but in the end, I always feel that teams feel that they can always beat them. So, when it comes to West Ham in this game, I mean, ultimately, I didn't check because we're live right after the game. But I mean, certainly, did they even have a shot on target towards the end? Maybe when I had to come here and do this. But I mean, in the first half, for sure, they didn't have a shot on goal, and pretty deep into the second half as well. So this is a team that bounced a little bit. And you think 2 wins and a draw in the last 3 games before this one was maybe showing that Nuno Espirito Santo is on the way back, but then you look at the table and they're still struggling.
Yeah, 0 big chances for West Ham, 0.32 expected goals, 7 efforts of which 3 were saved. It's just it's not enough for them. And you kind of look at West Ham, Janusz, and you and I have been doing this long enough, and they're always that team. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's all right. They're West Ham. They'll find a way. But will they this season? Because it doesn't look like all 3 that came up or all 3 are going to go back down, especially with Sunderland start. So Wolves are in there, West Ham are in there, Leeds are in there, Burnley are in there. Are you worried for West Ham's Premier League future?
Well, you have to, right? I mean, the season's over in terms of anything specific. I don't like to do that too early because you know how that works sometimes. But you look at the situation right now. I mean, bonus in the last few games, Callum Wilson scored 2 or 3 goals. But we know his limitation. We know his age. Fulkrug's not happy. He most likely, or from everything that I hear, he wants to leave, and they'll probably facilitate that for him as well. And then you have the situations of Lucas Paketa, which is crazy in itself, right? I mean, a player that was just suspended for the last game against Bournemouth comes back and almost as if he wanted to get himself sent off. Feel for him in a sense. That first yellow card, silly from the referee. I mean, the referee, I think, their job is to in situations like this, to do everything to keep the players on the pitch. That's their job, really. I mean, they shouldn't have such a short fuse. I look at that, whatever you think of a foul or not. I mean, Paketa didn't do much. Threw his leg, threw his hand up. I think wasn't even looking at the referee. For the referee to go so quickly for the yellow card, that's absolutely silly. Then after that, he was asking for it. No excuses, and whatever he gets, it's probably 1 game suspension. Really, if I'm Nuno Espirito Santo, I'd probably add a suspension for him and not playing him in the next game, because that's just in a position that this club is in. It's inexcusable because you saw it. I mean, he wanted to get sent off and he got his wish.
He was going to keep going until that second yellow came out. look, we're trying to put ourselves in a position where the temperature's raised and he's feeling really frustrated because he doesn't think it should be a yellow card. The minute that yellow card comes out, you've got to be better than that. And I heard the commentary team over here, Janusz, talking about, could Jared Bowen have done a little bit more as captain to just get him away? Once that card comes out, just say, look, get away. He's going to send you, just get out, push him away, do something. I'm not blaming Jared Bowen. I'm just saying, as a captain or any captain, should it be their responsibility when you've got a rowdy teammate who's going to get sent off if he keeps going on like that, to just kind of say, come on?
Yeah, I mean, look, this would have happened anyway. Even if you pull him away, I'm assuming that he had some choice words there. It wasn't the closeness. It wasn't the fact that he wasn't being pulled away. You can be pulled away by Jared Bowen far, far away from the referee. But if you want to send a message verbally to the referee, he's still going to hear it. So yeah, that's just a talk during the game that's going nowhere. I mean, he was going to say whatever he felt he wanted to say to the referee. Jared Bowen, not his fault. All on Paketa, and he couldn't do anything more.
You've just got a hothead that's determined to stick it out until the referee gives him another yellow card. So that was in the 84th minute. Before that, Alexander Isak, having scored in 60 minutes, was replaced in 68 by Ekitike. Curtis Jones came on for Florian Wirtz in 75, and Andy Robertson came on for Kerkez in 85. Before we get to the second goal, what does it tell you that Mohamed Salah, A, was benched, but maybe more importantly, now that we've seen the 90 minutes come and go, and wasn't called upon today?
Yeah, there's a game on Wednesday, right? Today's Sunday. You're winning. It looks like you have the game in control. You have an extra player. Absolutely no reason to do that. There's another game, I think Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure. Saturday, if I remember correctly. So obviously, Arne Slot felt that the game was in control. Now you have a player that doesn't have to warm up and get in and risk. As a sub, you always kind of risk that. So you have a fresh player, a player in Mo Salah that's, as we all know, how unhappy he usually is when he doesn't start, because he starts all the time. So perhaps you have a player with a point to prove, which should come in handy on Wednesday. There's a home game against Sunderland, a winnable one, even though Sunderland are in form. Then you have a game away to Leeds. So once again, you'd like to think that after this win here, maybe that's a catalyst, maybe that's a foundation. Now Liverpool can bounce. And if you look at, a point away as it stands right now from Champions League spots, I think, perhaps right decisions. All the decisions were right. Everybody was calling for Joe Gomez, who did well. Ultimately, I think he got that assist on the second goal as well. Did well defensively. All the decisions that Arne Slot made ahead of this game were good.
So what about the decision for midweek? Because, and I know we've still got the Gakpo goal to get to, which we will, but you've got Salah, who you'd expect to come back in. You've got Ekitike, who's been playing well, but came off the bench today. You have Florian Wirtz, who's been in there. You have Cody Gakpo, who scores in stoppage time. They have an abundance of attacking talent, but they're only likely to play 3 of them. So is this just a manage minutes and not look too much into, he's been dropped or he's been left out?
Absolutely. I mean, in a way, it's going to be an easy decision. Fans will always question that, but it's going to be an easy decision because these 2 games come in quickly. Salah comes in for Szoboszlai, who's been probably not even arguably the best Liverpool player this season, but he can play on the right side, but you wasting him. He wasn't good there. So he's got to go in the center of midfield somewhere. I think Wirtz gets the benefit of the doubt. If not, Szoboszlai plays in the number 10. If you want to play Wirtz, and certainly Szoboszlai probably is needed, then you have a decision to make between McAllister and Gravenberg. I think McAllister continues to struggle. It's been better today, both Gravenberg and McAllister. Not only protected the back line, but I thought that drive that we're used to seeing from them in terms of going forward was there. But I, for example, would probably maybe rest McAllister and put Szoboszlai there. If not, then Szoboszlai rests. But that decision is easy. In terms of strikers, You absolutely, if he's healthy and he's good, I give Isak benefit of the doubt. When a striker scores a goal and a first one for the club, I think you kind of want to you want to give him an opportunity to continue and get informed, get that momentum, get the confidence that he needs and he once had at Newcastle. So I think in a way, easy decisions because the games come thick and fast.
Those are good stats today. And look, he had a summer that he tried to kind of force a move, which he eventually got. Didn't have a proper pre-season. He's not a bad player overnight. He's a top striker, and he will probably justify the transfer fee that Liverpool paid. It's just a little bit of patience that's been required for Alexander Isak. Cody Gakpo got his goal. Second minute of stoppage time. It's a good ball in from Joe Gomez. I just felt today from the right hand side, Gomez wearing number 2 put the ball in. It was a good finish by Gakpo. It was checked to see if a hand was used, and it wasn't. But Liverpool with a defender at right back playing in that position just looked a little bit more natural, a little bit more solid. And it was good for Gomez to get an assist. And Gakpo, it took a while, but he eventually got his goal as well. It was a nice goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, at this stage, look at the right side with Frimpong, being injured, obviously, who can play in that position. Bradley, maybe not to his best. It's still an area of concern for Liverpool, right? I mean, remember what the role fullbacks have played, under Klopp, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson at his best. I mean, it was incredible because what they did in terms of that, there's certainly questions defensively. We've talked about Trent in particular, but what they did going forward was incredible because they made defenses guess, right? And they made the job easier for somebody like Salah, who can freely go inside, create space for Trent at the time, right? Or on the other side, it's pretty much the same. If it was Luis Diaz or anybody else for that matter. And today, when you look at Joe Gomez and you look at Kerkez, who's been so disappointing as well, I mean, they really give you nothing going forward. I mean, not the quality that you need. With Kerkez, you expect a lot more. Watching him at Bournemouth, right? I mean, he was a player that very much two-way player, up and down, sort of Robo, right? Close to Robo at his best. Ability to cross the ball. I mean, I don't know if he had a good cross in today's game, Kerkez. I don't remember last time that he showed the sort of quality that we've seen and we expect. And Joe Gomez, of course, is not that sort of a player, but it is an issue. Today, he solved the problem defensively because defensively, that has been an issue. I mean, you look at Liverpool and the stats are incredible. In the last 3 games, how many goals they've given up. I saw a stat today that in the whole of Europe since May of this year, they've given up more than any other team, 43 goals. Imagine that. Liverpool, who at their best, 5, 6, 7 goals a season, 10, all the great teams have to be great defensively. Here we are, we're looking at Liverpool in the Premier League alone, 20 goals scored, 20 goals conceded. That's unthinkable. I mean, you can't win anything playing like that. So Joe Gomez did his job, and I'm not having a go because ultimately he had that assist as well. I mean, Joe Gomez can get involved in the attack, Mark, as you know, and can be effective, but still, when I look at the way Liverpool functions and the role of fullbacks, it's not great. It has changed. Remember, early in the season, I mean, last year, Arne Slot was asking a lot. A lot of his fullbacks were coming inside a little bit as well. I still worry a little bit about that because the fullbacks, to me, amongst other things, are not functioning properly.
On that theme and continuing that theme, because you don't have as adventurous fullbacks, it's not Trent bombing forward down one side, it's not Andy Robertson bombing forward down the other side anymore. I'm going to have a counterintuitive argument against myself here by asking you whether or not a 4-4-2 is workable for Liverpool. And the reason I'm kind of going against myself is I don't know if I'd want Mohamed Salah playing right of midfield, given his propensity to get forward as opposed to get back. But with the players that they have now and with the way that the fullbacks are, is Liverpool in a situation where 4-4-2 might be something that they'd consider, given that it was mainly 4-3-3 last season and there's been an element of that and a 4-2-3-1 this season?
Yeah, I mean, you introduce that season when you have strikers that are in form, right? I mean, that's when you're on top of your game. Maybe, we've seen that, I think, once or twice this season, or sort of that. I think flexibility is important for any manager. We've seen, Slot and almost everybody do the, starting position with the ball, maybe 4-4-2, and then, fullback comes inside. So we see this all the time. These situations are fluid. I mean, if I had to, and that's, I don't know if it's going to happen. If I had to, I would look at some stage at three in the back, right? Because, the solidity defensively with three center backs to make sure you get through. I think, you have enough players that can play wing backs, for Liverpool as well. So that to me, and then you have an extra spot in the midfield because 4-4-2 denies you that, when you look at Gravenberg, McAllister, if you look at Soboslai, that's a central play. When you look at Wirtz, right? By playing 4-4-2, you always take away that one spot in an area on the pitch that we all know how vital it is. So you can, but you do that when you're going to tinker like this. You do it when your team is flying, not when your team is looking for direction, and right now is struggling because you almost seems like you don't know how to fit all these pieces into the puzzle.
Final question, and it's a question I never thought at the start of the season I'd ever be asking you mid-season. But both Liverpool and Man United are level on points right now, 21 points. They're 4 points behind Manchester City. Who finishes higher this season, Liverpool or Manchester United?
Well, it's an easy one because in terms of quality, when you look at the squad, it's not even close. I mean,
It
it's not
should
even
be an easy one.
it's not even a conversation between Manchester United and Liverpool. But when you see teams struggle like this, you just never know. You play game by game, and when the confidence goes, we see it with all that money being spent, with all the players that Liverpool have bought that have accomplished so much already in their career. It can go that way, but in terms of quality, it's not even close. It's Liverpool and Manchester United.
It's putting results on the paper and getting the 3 points, something Liverpool have done 7 times this season, still without a draw, 6 defeats, and that moves them up the table.